Now with our GMA cover story and summer vacation safety as the 4th of July holiday weekend continues. Here with what parents need to know all summer long, whether it's on the road or at the pool, is our ABC News medical correspondent, Dr. Darien Sutton. Dr. Darien, always great to see you.
Great to be here.
So we've got a variety of topics to talk about here because tomorrow a huge travel day. One of the things we want to know, what do we need to keep in mind when it comes to the kids and travel?
I think number one, paying attention to the heat. This summer is expected to be one of the hottest summers on record, so making sure you remember that children are also susceptible to heat-related illness. We're talking about heat stroke and heat exhaustion, and the number way to prevent that is with hydration. Also, car safety. It's unfortunate that we have to do this reminder, but it still happens. Children mistakenly get left in cars, and when you look at the data, it's most often children under the age of 2 when caregivers or parents are planning to take them to daycare and may or may not have something changed in their schedule, and then something happens. So one way to do that is prevent it by making a habit of putting important things into the back seat so that you're always remembering to check it. And then in general, just making sure you're having your children and your family aware of what you should be cautious of when you're traveling. And so if you're going abroad, making sure that you're up to date on your immunizations, your vaccinations. And something that I checked this morning that I think is really important and easy to use, the CDC Travel Health Notice. If you go to that website, you can type in the country that you're going to. It can make you aware. Guys, many people don't know this. Up to 50% of people have a travel-related illness when they're going overseas. So you got to be prepared and got to be cautious.
50%. Wow. I wouldn't imagine that. All right. Yeah. For families who are hiking this summer, what do they need to know?
Just being aware of ticks. We talk about this every summer, knowing where ticks live in tall grass and on animals. And if you find a tick, making sure that you remove it quickly, most often with using something like a tweezer and cleaning that area with rubbing alcohol. And then just to provide some reassurance, I know we talk a lot about tick-borne illnesses like Lyme disease, but just to reassure, only about 3% of tick bites result in something like a tick-borne illness. So a lot of patients are always concerned about that, but I have to remind them about that statistic to help provide some calm.
If you find a tick, should you take them to a hospital or something even after you remove it to see if they have one of these illnesses? Or
that's a great question. Some people who are extra cautious, number one, removing the tick. A lot of people want to do different things. Just removing it is probably the best mechanism that you should do, using tweezers and cleaning the area. Most often you do not need to go to the hospital. You can check in with your doctor, but if you find that you're having a rash or if you're finding that you're having other symptoms, of course you want to come to the hospital for that.
Okay, let's talk water safety because we got pools, beaches, lakes.
Yeah.
My son is going to sleepaway camp, and then he's a very good swimmer, and I think a lot of parents fall into this false sense of security when their kids can swim. But I am anxious about him going to sleepaway camp. There's a big, huge lake. There are pools. There are all kinds of water. What do parents need to know for water safety? Not only if your kids can't swim, but even if they can swim.
You know, your anxiety is reasonable, and I think we should respect it. The one thing you've done is what all parents should do, is helping your kid learn how to swim. It's that one sport that can save their life. Also remembering that children require close attention, and you have to be close to them. With no drinking when you're monitoring your children. And many of those flotation devices are not built to protect someone from drowning. So if you're going to use a flotation device, it should be a Coast Guard approved life jacket to make sure that that child has the best equipment to make sure that they stay safe.
Great info. And by the way, a lot of people don't know this, but Dr. Sutton was a lifeguard. He swam college on the swim team, water polo, and he's a doctor and our correspondent.
Swim safety is very important.
And looks like a model.
I wasn't going to get into that part. Dr. Sutton, as always, we appreciate it.